What's going on, guys? Girls, Rob here, and Slam Wars. Slam Wars looks like it may have arrived. So, small, very small. Uh, uh, and cell phone, about the size of a cell phone. So think about that. Not a big package at all. Not a huge package. Like I say, a little pricey, but it's something I wanted. So it's something I did get. I received, and looks like it's wrapped well. Looks like it's packaged well. Sent first class, so you can't bitch about that too much. Look like it's real bright, man. Look how bright it is. I mean, it's like birds or something color. I'll show it to you. Bright blue it is. I mean, that is almost like scales on a fish blue. All right, let's see what we got here going on now. All right. So let's go this way, What we ordered was the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Slam Wars. All right, first off, we got a piece of paper. Let's see what it says here. Okay. Hi, Rob. Thank you so much for purchasing Slam Wars Wrestling Legends of the Mid-Atlantic. Hope the game brings back some great memories for you. In addition to the included instruction guide, Slam Wars website, and the game demonstration video might be some benefit to you, which I've watched that already. Again, thank you for the purchase, and if I can assist you in any way with questions about the game, please contact me, slamwarsgame@gmail.com. If you'd like to spread the word about Slam Wars, you can rate or review the sets you bought. All 16 sets are available. So there are 16 sets.
Nothing for me?
Nothing for you, no. You didn't get no mail. So, this is how big it is. This is how big it is, guys. Not big at all. Slam Wars, Wrestling Legends of the Mid-Atlantic. So, we're going to see what happens here. Nothing else inside the packaging. So, this is this. So, let me get me a pair of scissors. Scissors, otherwise known as scissors. I know the wife was hoping for some jewelry to come today. Nothing came for her. I was standing up there waiting. He said, that's it. I said, oh, okay. So I knew I was getting mine because I had tracking on mine. She doesn't have tracking on hers. So she doesn't always know when it's coming or going for her stuff. All right. So, Slam Wars. Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. If you haven't watched Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, you should. You should definitely check it out. That's the packaging for it right there. Okay, let's open it up. Let's see what we got. Okay, I don't think I'm going to need the scissors anymore. Hope I don't. So it's sliding open slowly. So that lets you know it's probably made out of some decent packaging. If it just barely wants to open, you know. It's a box kind of like you get with rook cards. That wants to be a pain in the ass. That wants to be a bitch. Wants to be a pain in the ass. Don't do that to me. Because I don't want to stretch the box. You don't want to stretch it. Okay. Let's see what else we got here going on. All right. Here we go. If I can get to the sides, I think maybe I can get the box open. Box opening 101 with Rob. 30-minute instruction video of how to open a box. No, let's hope not. Okay, here we go. That's cool. All right. Okay. So first off, we get the wrestling card game. No dice needed. No dice needed. Each wrestling tag team has a ratings box. The trophy is success. Pure success trophy. The heart is endurance. The muscle is strength. Okay. The star is technician. And the blood is hardcore. Okay. So what we're going to do, let's get the wrestling cards out. Oh, I thought they were definitely, I was wrong. I thought they were, and they are decent cards. Oh, they are some good cards. They're nice ones. And let's get these out. Stipulation cards. All right, stipulation cards. All right, so we get the stipulation cards out and a couple of grudge match with a steel cage, a Texas death match, a ladder match, lumberjack match, chain match, Iron Man match, and then you've got all these others. So you can make your own card. Yeah, man. What's up, Puck? Yeah, they are very, very cool. Very, very cool. And then there's one right here called Champion's Advantage. Slam Wars champion, the Mid-Atlantic champion. So it's a championship belt, the Mid-Atlantic championship belt. And I hope to get a world heavyweight title belt very, very soon. Boosters. J.C. Dykes was once a manager. Gary Hart was once a manager. Two-ton George Harris. He was a manager at one time, Two-ton Harris. He was a wrestler and then became a manager. Lord Alfred Hayes later went to WWF and then WWF after that, became an announcer. But he was in the Mid-Atlantic long before that. Sonny Fargo, ring the damn bell. I'm the referee. Sonny Fargo, referee. Okay. Bob Caudle. Hi there, wrestling fans. He was the announcer. If you don't remember him, he's actually still living, I think, down in North Carolina, right around Raleigh area, Burlington, Raleigh area. Yeah, they are some good thickness. Charlie Brown from out of town. Who was that masked man? Charlie Brown from out of town. Jim Crockett Sr. I've got big plans for you. What's up, Sean? So he was the one that originally owned the Mid-Atlantic area. Then a finisher, submission moves. You may play this card within it. A finisher as well, impact moves, finisher pinning moves, finisher striking moves, finisher crushing moves. So so that is the booster cards. Okay. Now let's have tag team wars. Dino Bravo and Mr. Wrestling. J.E. Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. I don't know who remembers them. They were really good. We're not going to look at all the cards right now. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to have a Mid-Atlantic Championship matches from Roanoke, Virginia. Roanoke, Virginia. Okay. All right. So 7 matches. First one will be this one. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, let's do that. Then we're going to do this one. Grudge match, lumberjack match, okay? Next one will be this one. All right. So let me do like, I'll tell you what, let me put these 2 back. And let's see, I'll do like this. All right. And then this one. All right, that has to be a four-man. Okay. All right, let's see. All right. That's 5, 6, 7. All right. Now, the number 2 match is a singles match, but any of the rest of them can be tag team wars. So I don't want the final match. Let's see if I can stretch this out there a little bit. So number 2 and number 7 is not going to be tag team matches. So you guys decide 2 matches you want, whether it's 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, to be a tag team affair. The rest of them will be singles matches. Okay? All right. So the stipulation matches have already been played. All right. Stipulation matches. All right. So the booster card will go right there. And I will get this booster card right. All right. So I get that one. Okay. Now. All right. Number 2 or number 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1. It'd be two tag team matches. So you guys let me know where you want the tag team matches to go. Okay? And each team gets 3 tag teams and 5 singles wrestlers to decide from. Okay? All right. Right there. 3 and 3. All right. Is anybody here? Somebody in here, tell me. I want 2 tag team matches, but not match number 2, which this is match number 2 because I got 1 right here, or number 7. Give me 2 numbers that you want to have tag team matches of. It can be 1, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Give me 2 different numbers, and we'll make those tag team numbers. Okay. Match 4 and 6 will be tag team number. Will be tag team. Okay. Sounds good. All right, guys. Now, this will be your booster right here. Gary Hart. And you can add, play this, and it will help all your stats by 5. So Gary Hart's going to be your manager for one of your matches. Okay. All right. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. I'm dropping them now. I'm seeing a couple of them in the process too. Very good artwork. Very good artwork. All right. Yeah, they are nice size. They're nice size cards. All right. So what we're gonna do, give you guys 3 tag team. I've got 3 tag teams. Okay. We've already said match 4 and match 6 are going to be tag team wars. So I'll let you guys decide who you want to have. For those 2 matches, okay? I won't show the stipulations. I didn't. So 5 wrestlers. 1, 2, 3. I'll give you 6. 4, 5, 6. All right. Now, okay, guys. Now is when you can decide who you want to wrestle under each thing. Okay. The first match will be a singles match. It's going to be a strength. Let's see if I can close this up in here. If I can close it up in there better. That's going to be strength. Okay. The second one is a grudge match. Okay. So it's going to be an Iron Man grudge match. All 4 of those will take place. And you'll have on your side the cup and the heart. I'll have the blood and the strength. Those will be my 2, but they'll all be going against each other. All right, the third match of the evening will be a blood match or a what do they call it? Hold on. Here's my booster card. I don't need to give that up. It'll be a hardcore match. Hardcore match. What's going on, Bleacher Bombs? Showing off the game I got here. What's going on? You guys are going to have these to play. 3 tag teams, 6 singles wrestlers. All right. The fourth match is going to be a grudge match. Okay. It's going to be a lumberjack grudge match. So you add up your strength and the trophy, which is what is it? Success. So success and strength will be added on your card against my guy. Okay. All right. Next one. Another singles match. Grudge match. So it'll be endurance added with hardcore for a Texas death match. And then the tag team match. We'll see. This grudge match is a tag team match. That's right. That's a tag team match. So you got to have a good tag team. This one right here is a technicians match for a tag team. And then the final match of the evening will be a grudge match again, chain match. It'll be blood and strength. So it'll be hardcore and strength. Okay. So I'm going to find my 3 tag teams. Okay. These are the 2 tag team matches you can have. Plus, you can play Gary Hart, and he'll help anything up to 5 for you. Okay. All right. I will play mine before you play yours. That way, I know I'll be in pretty good shape. Maybe. Hope so. Anyway, right? All right. So I'm going to play that one there. Oh, say no. Let's see. That's a tag team match. That's a tag team match. Okay. Lumberjack match. I'll play him right there. No, that's right. That's the 2 tag team matches. Jeez, I'll get them right in a minute. I'll get them right in a minute. Okay. Oh boy. All right, he's going to go there. Now you got to have 2 singles wrestlers here. Go for it. Man, oh man. I'll play him right there. Let's see. I'll play that one there. Play that one there. That's tag team matches. Okay. So my tag teams are done. Play that one there. Play those 2 at that match. And this guy has to go here. All right. So it's got to be 2 guys at this match. All right. So first off, this is what you guys end up getting. And you got to have 2 tag team matches. You're going to have a tag team right here at number 4 and number 6. All right. So you get, first off, Dusty Rhodes and Manny Fernandez. You get Aldo Bonyi and Bronco Lubich. Bronco Lubich was a referee in Texas. And the Mongols. You got the Mongols. Okay. So the first one you want to do is add up their trophy and their strength. Let's see which one has most trophy and strength. Oh well, it's a tie. You got Dusty Rhodes and Manny Fernandez and the Mongols. They have the same amount right here, but let's see which one has a better star quality. That's definitely Dusty Rhodes and Manny Fernandez. So if you're going to use one of those 2 right here, you'd probably use the Mongols. And so, I mean, you can use Dusty Rhodes and them right here, but they've got both have the same, and you still got to have one that has a star right here. And their star rating 75 compared to theirs is only 48. And you got to use 2 tag teams. Their star rating is 53. So Aldo Bonyi and Bronco Lubich. So it'd be Mongols first. Okay. And then Dusty Rhodes and Manny Fernandez. Okay. So this one will not get used. I'll put this one over here out the way. Now, this match over here. Let's go to the far side over here. is strength, straight up strength. You've got Art Nelson, 92. That's not bad. 99 is as high as it goes. Pork Chop Cash, 84. Rip Hawk, 85. George Becker, 70. Sergeant Slaughter, 80. Dirty Dick Slater, 78. So you want one that's going to compare with mine right here. You just don't know who I have. And, by the time it's over with, you got to play all of them. So you got to kind of try to spread them out the best you can. Over here at the end, let me show you this one too. The final match is a singles match with strength and blood. So, which is the blood is a hardcore. So, don't put them out there. Let's see. Strength, 78, Slater. Strength, Sergeant Slaughter, 80. So you said Nelson. Art Nelson. Okay. Now I didn't tell you guys where I played my my special pick. You can play your Gary Hart card on any one of these you want to, any match you want to. Now the grudge match with the cup and with the heart. So you're going to have two guys right here. Show Slaughter again. Okay. Cup for Slater is 90. Hart is 91. So he's got a real good card there for cup or heart. And then you got a heart and blood right here later. But cup 90, heart, blood, heart 91. Pork Chop Cash, cup 81, heart 82. Rip Hawk, cup 84, heart 83. George Becker, cup 92, heart 89. All he needs one good one there. And then Sergeant Slaughter, cup 93, heart 86. So you're going to have to put one of them with cup and one with heart. And then you still got 3 more wrestlers to go after that. So you got to use 2 of them here, cup and heart. 93 for Slaughter. So Slater, which one, for heart or cup? The best cup one you got is Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter with 93. The best heart you got is Slater with 91. So use Slaughter for blood and heart right here in the Texas Death Match. Oh, okay. Heart for Slater. Okay. Who's going to use? All right, for cup. George Becker, 92. For cup. All right. Then you got blood match, which is a hardcore match. Pork Chop Cash or Rip Hawk for hardcore. But the grudge match at the end, it's got to have blood and strength. And Rip Hawk is better for both of them together. So right here, you may want to go with Pork Chop Cash. You may want to go with Rip Hawk. But Rip Hawk right here for strength and blood is better than Pork Chop Cash. All right. Now you get to have your added dimension. Your added dimension will be whichever match you want to, you can increase all the stats by 5. So which one is it you're like, okay, I got to help this team or I got to help this person out? So Gary Hart can be put on any one of these, all the way from Rip Hawk over here, Manny Fernandez, Dusty Rhodes, Sergeant Slaughter, the Mongols, Hart on the grudge match. Well, okay, there's 3 grudge matches. Becker and Slater, 4 grudge matches. With Rip Hawk, the final match of the evening. Okay, here we go. So let's back this all up right here, and I will start it over to my left. Okay, I actually put mine right here. I'll put mine right here with the Sergeant Slaughter match. So we'll see what happens. Art Nelson has strength of 92. Buzz Tyler has strength of 88. Art Nelson wins that match. Supposed to be going to the bank. All right, so it's 1-0 right now, you guys. All right. George Becker, Dick Slater, right now, they're all against each other. So Becker would be the winner right now over Slater. Strength, Abe Jacobs, 84. Blood, Bruce Swayze, beautiful Bruce Swayze. George Becker wins that match. That's 2-0, you guys, already. How about that? All right. Next one is a hardcore match with Pork Chop Cash, 75. But I got Don Kernodle with only 50. I didn't have really any good players, so it's 3-0 already, you guys. I had some mid-card guys. The Mongols here. Strength 87, Cup 86. That's 160. That's 173. I'm going with Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. They had 93 and 82. That's 7 better. That's 5 less. I actually beat the Mongols in that match. 3-1 now. Now we're going with Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter is going to take on Jay Youngblood. And he had to wrestle twice tonight. How about that? The Hart, 86. Blood, 91. That's 177. Jay Youngblood, 90 and 60 is 151 compared to 177. And all stats increased by 7. So we add 14 to his. So it'd be 104, 165. Slaughter wins this match. So Slaughter wins that match. Dusty Rhodes, Manny Fernandez. Star quality of 75. The Flying Scots with Sandy and George Scott. 84, they actually pin Dusty Rhodes. So it's 4-2. And finally, the chain match between Rip Hawk and Wahoo McDaniel. Let's see. Increases all stats by 5. And so, let's see. Rip Hawk has a strength of 90 and has a blood of 92, so that is 182. He has a blood of 88 and has a blood of 89. So 5 there picks him up ahead by 3. 5 there. So Rip Hawk wins that match as well. How about that? 6-1. How about that? How about that? So, yeah, I just really didn't get any good cards that time. I really didn't. I got some real sucky cards. The tag team's pretty good there. I had Rip Hawk and Swede Hansen as well. And you guys had Aldo Bogny and Bronco Lubitsch. So that didn't go over well for you guys either. So that's the 6 tag team guys. The booster cards didn't work great for me either. So Um, let's take a look at some more of the other cards. Okay. All right. But yeah, here's the belt. Here's the belt. Fun little game. All right, man. Have a good one, bud. Yeah. And if you're going from territory to territory, I think it would be awesome. I really do. Let's see who some more of these wrestlers are. Okay. We saw some of them already. We saw some of the tag team wrestlers. Um, Tim Woods. Tim Woods. That was Mr. Wrestling #2. Tim Woods. I tell you what, I'm gonna go like this so you guys can see me too. Tim Woods. He wrestled as Mr. Wrestling, not #2 maybe, but he was Mr. Wrestling, and he was in the plane crash with Ric Flair, David Crockett, and it might have been Johnny Valentine. Anyway, the guy that was flying the plane passed away, and Tim Woods got out of it. He was hurt really, really bad. Ric Flair broke back, and that was some hard news there. Angelo Mosca Jr., maybe the worst wrestler ever to hold the U.S. heavyweight title. He was not a good wrestler. He really was not a good wrestler at all. His dad wrestled. His dad was a big guy, but he wasn't. I'm sorry, Angelo Mosca Jr. was just not a good wrestler. Klondike Bill. Klondike Bill. He had the bear hug. He became in the early 70s. He wrestled when Eric the Red was wrestling. He wrestled when Ernie the Cat, Big Cat Ladd was wrestling. He wrestled also when back around when the what was his name? I can't think of the guy that almost had his eye taken out. I'll think of it in a minute. The Magic Dragon. How about that? The Magic Dragon. I don't know anything about the Magic Dragon. If I knew something about him, I could tell you more about him, but I don't know anything about the Magic Dragon. Dewey Robertson. Dewey Robertson was he came up through the college ranks. I want to say maybe he went to Michigan, but it may have been Minnesota. And the first guy to really, really notice him was not Jim Crockett. It was Gagne, Vern Gagne. He offered Dewey Robertson part of the AWA, and Dewey turned it down. He went down to Charlotte, talked to Jim Crockett Sr. Jim Crockett Sr. said, Dewey, I will make you a world heavyweight champion, which never came to fruition. And Dewey was a very, very strong guy. But no, he was never given that opportunity. Nelson Royal. Nelson Royal held the junior heavyweight title, I think, 7 times. He was Virginia state champion. That was legit for a short time in the 60s. Mid-Atlantic champion. Wrestled for the belt 3-4 times, never won a belt, but he was junior heavyweight champion a few times. Denny Brown actually wrestled him on a few occasions. Denny Brown beat him a couple times. Nelson Royal, very good wrestler in his day. He a real light guy, about 205. The Great Kabuki, he was brought in by Gary Hart, and he originally started down in Florida. He started down as the Ninja, the White Ninja. If you've never seen the White Ninja wrestle, you have got to go to Florida Championship Wrestling or CWF Championship Wrestling from Florida and just put in White Ninja. This guy was doing stuff 40 years ago. He was facing the crowd, flipping backwards, landing right on them. And then eventually Crockett stepped in for a short time. He didn't wrestle for Crockett very long before they ended up going to the Superstation. But Gary Hart hung with him for a long time. He did not understand English very well. That's one of the reasons they painted his face. He was not very good in English when he first came over. Then he went to World Class Championship Wrestling, fought to Von Erichs for a while. He had a very good career. Swede Hansen, a big guy. It first came up as a jobber, and it was hard. It was hard for him to be a jobber. He's 6'6". He's huge, so they had to make him a wrestler. So what did they do? They eventually put him together with Rip Hawk. Rip Hawk, they were a tag team, and they won the tag team belts a time or two for at least the Mid-Atlantic, and I think it won the World tag team titles. Rip Hawk was about 5'8", 5'9" at the most, but had a lot of talent. He helped train Ric Flair when he came to NWA. Swede Hansen was definitely not. I mean, when I say this, he was not a pure bona fide wrestler. Rip Hawk helped him become a better wrestler. He never was a great wrestler, but he was a top-level jobber. Let's call him that. He was better than a jobber, but he was never world-class. Harley Race, 7-time world heavyweight champion, just passed away this past year. He was from St. Louis, Missouri. They say one of the top 5 toughest guys ever in the sport. Most people would tell you they would rather go out there and fight a bear than to fight this guy. He was that damn tough. Had the hardest head in wrestling, and he would jump off the top rope and headbutt you. Just fall straight down, not jumping at you, just fall right on you. A very good champion. Ric Flair has noted in the past that Harley Race was actually the best wrestler he ever faced. Ron Ritchie, he was a jobber. He came up in the late 70s, and he tried to get together with Mike Rotundo, and they wanted to make something, of their team. And Rotundo kind of blunted back on it, not so much, but Rotundo was a little bit younger than this kid, and Ritchie, pretty well stocky, but just didn't. He just was a decent jobber. He's got good numbers. He eventually won a Mid-Atlantic belt, I think, one time or maybe even twice. Definitely a mid-card guy at best. He never was a main eventer. Ron Ritchie. Blackjack Mulligan. What's up, Ole? Blackjack Mulligan is dad to Barry Windham, is dad to Kendall Windham. He passed away. He is grandfather to the guy in the WWF that used to carry the lantern. What's the guy that's got the evil face? Anybody watch WWE now? I can't tell you his name, but that's his granddaddy. Wyndham Rotundo is the guy's name. Wyndham Rotundo. I'll get more into that in a second. But what's the guy's name that has the evil face? And he used to have the fireflies and all that stuff. That's his granddaddy. Who's the firefly guy? Jeez. Has a beard, real big guy. I can understand it. I don't watch it either. Let me see if I can find it out real quick. WWE Firefly wrestler. Bray Wyatt. That's his grandson. This is his granddaddy right here. That's Bray Wyatt's granddaddy. And he was a tough guy. Never won a world title. Won tag team titles a couple times with the Blackjacks. He was Blackjack Mulligan. His name was Robert Mulligan, which Robert Windham was his real name. But Blackjack Lanza won tag team gold with him. He won the belts with Paul Jones, and I think maybe he won it one time with um, Wahoo McDaniels. Rufus R. Freight Train Jones. Rufus, um, he was better than a mid-level guy for most of his career. Um, I would call him upper mid-level, kind of like Ron Ritchie. Probably a little better than Ron Ritchie though, and he ran around a lot with Jimmy Valiant, Bugsy McGraw. He was that type of wrestler. When the crowd kind of had a quiet moment of matches or whatever, they'd bring him out and he would really wake a crowd out. Rufus R. Freight Train Jones. Number one, Paul Jones. Dirtiest guy in the game for a long time. Clean guy early on in his career. Short guy, though. And that was his downfall as to becoming a world champion. He was only 5'7", and he just was not big enough to become a world champion. He wanted to become world champion. He tag teamed with some of the best. Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair, Blackjack Mulligan. But then when he turned against some of the guys, he fought against the Briscoes, fought against Roddy Piper. He kind of teamed up with Bob Orton Jr. and Dick Slater, and they kind of formed an alliance for a while. Then he became a manager after he hurt his arm and his knee real bad. Paul Jones, a real good. He sold the sport really well. He was a good ambassador to the sport. Johnny Valentine. Johnny Valentine came up in the late 50s, early 60s, and mostly early 60s. He didn't have a real long career. He wrestled for about 16, 17 years. He is Greg Valentine's dad. Johnny Valentine never won the world heavyweight title, I don't think. He was a world tag team champion a couple of times. I think he won it with Rip Hawk, and then Rip left him to go to Sweet Hansen. Johnny Valentine won the U.S. belt maybe a couple times. He and Wahoo McDaniel actually had a war going on. I think Wahoo actually ended his career. Then Greg Valentine kind of stepped in, his son, and kind of took over that war. Pretty good situation. Private Jim Nelson. He's a very interesting story. He was Boris Yurkov. He played a Russian, but he also played a private early on. This guy, Crusher Yurkov, he had 3 or 4 names. I couldn't even find them all. And if he's from Virginia, from southwest part, where I want to go fishing here pretty soon. Very good wrestler. Very good wrestler. Tough as, what's up, Keith? Tough as leather. But he played a Russian 2 or 3 different times, and he was good at it. If you actually want to watch him, whatever. But Jim Nelson, not very good on the mic, a decent wrestler, was part of the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champions for a while, then later became part of Sergeant Slaughter's army. Jim Nelson, very good wrestler. Les Thatcher, I can't tell you a lot about Les Thatcher because he came out wrestling in the 60s, and he was pretty much done by like 71, 72. He became part of the crew that worked behind the scenes, worked with the ring crew, worked with, figuring out what was going to happen. He helped with promotional stuff. Les Thatcher was a good wrestler, better than good wrestler at one time. But I think his career was cut short by injury. But he became more of a promotional guy later in his life. Jimmy Valiant. What can we say about him? He's a crazy guy. Anytime the NWA needed somebody to pick up the pace, he was just like Special Delivery Jones or Rufus R. Freight Train Jones. They would bring Jimmy Valiant into town. Jimmy Valiant was a guy that could wrestle for 5 minutes, but could sell out a place. just because they wanted to see who, if he's going after one of the Russians, or if he's going after Paul Jones and his crew because they stole his mask, or they stole, shaved his beard or shaved his head or whatever. He was a lot of drama to him, but he brought it to town with him, and a lot of folks supported him. Jimmy Valiant, not a great wrestler by any stretch of the imagination, a great seller of the sport, and has a wrestling camp, Shawsville, Virginia, SHAWSVILLE, southwest of Virginia, of Roanoke, maybe 30 miles, 40 miles, something like that. And he still has a camp. Missouri Mauler, can't say a lot about him because he wasn't around the territory that much. He is exactly where he's from, Missouri. He wrestled in the Mid-South area, and I think he butted heads with some of the promoters. He ended up coming over to the Mid-Atlantic area. Tough guy, but I really don't have a lot on him I can tell you about. But he came from the Mid-South area, and he butted heads with a lot of promoters. Johnny Powers. Johnny Powers is one that I wish I could tell you something about, but he's one I don't know anything about. Johnny Powers. I cannot tell you anything about him because I don't know anything about him. Denny Brown. Denny Brown was a guy, remember a little while ago we were talking about Nelson Royal. Denny Brown was a junior heavyweight champion. He wrestled a lot of times against Nelson Royal. He wrestled a lot of times against a lot of the guys that were smaller, and they always came out. Mike Jackson, I hope he's in the Mid-South set because he was a guy they considered the Alabama junior heavyweight champion for 40 years, which was never a title. But even at 70 years old now, Mike Jackson wrestles, and he was even on TV on AEW. I think it was AEW, either Ring of Honor, one of the two, 2 months ago, and actually had a great match. 70 years old, still had a good match. But Denny Brown was one of the guys that used to wrestle him a lot. Denny Brown, a good competitor. He was better than average. Yeah, the cards are very nice. Super Destroyer. He is another guy I can't tell you a whole lot about because he went from territory to territory a lot because I think without the mask, I forgot what his name was, he wanted to win belts. And back in the days, in the 60s and 70s, if you wore a mask, they would not allow you to wear a belt. There are a few. Yeah, I've had Rufus R. Freight Train Jones. Yeah, but if you didn't know that, in the 60s and 70s, WWF, which is now WWE, AWA, or the NWA would not allow you to hold a title, especially a world belt, if you had a mask. They would not allow it. Greg the Hammer Valentine. Came up with the NWA in the early 70s. Tough guy, real tough guy. He and Jim Crockett Sr. were best of friends for most of the 70s. Jim Crockett Sr. died, I think, in 79 or 80. Jim Crockett Jr. took over, and immediately these two did not get along. Jim Crockett Jr. wanted to pay him less money, wanted to cut him down on some money and all this type of stuff. He hung around for one of the biggest matches of his career, Starrcade 83, when he wrestled a dog collar match with Roddy Piper, where he almost ripped Roddy Piper's ear off. I mean, it was an awesome match. If you've never seen it, it's an awesome match. Greg Valentine then, not right after that, wasn't very long after Starrcade 83. He left, went to the WWE, kind of fizzled out. He became a mid-level card guy most of the time in WWE. Wasn't really a great draw either because he wasn't flamboyant or anything. Good, a better than good wrestler though. Dino Bravo, they actually put him on a gold card here. Dino Bravo had up and down life. First off, he came out of Montreal, Quebec, and he was a very good wrestler, not just a good wrestler. He was a very good wrestler. He was a champion in NCAA competition down here in the United States. I think he wrestled maybe for Syracuse. I'm not sure who he wrestled for, but he was a champion. Dino Bravo. Yeah, what's up, B.R. Wells? Um, and like I say, he's put on a gold card. It's only like 3 or 4 gold cards, and he was one of them. Dino fizzled out a lot quicker than people hoped, though. He got together kind of with some of the Hearts, and later he was found dead in a hotel room. It was believed that he was into some mob activity. At first, they thought he killed himself, but later on, it said they think maybe he was in the mob or he messed with the mob. Anyway, Dino Bravo was found dead in a hotel room a few years ago, and you hear 10 wrestlers tell you 10 different stories. So you believe what you want to believe. Johnny Weaver met the guy 20, 25 times at least. Not a huge guy, probably 6'1", 6'2". He probably weighed about 220 so at most. Very nice guy. He always looked older than he was. He died only just a few years ago down here in North Carolina. Wrestled until up in his 60s. Had the sleeper lock. He called it the Weaver lock. He was a great announcer. He worked beside Bob Caudle. Let's see if I can find Bob Caudle. He worked beside him for years. Here's Bob. Yeah. Those two did wrestling together, especially in North Carolina, but sometimes up here. Yeah. He wasn't a real muscular guy at all. Pretty strong guy. He would take on some of the bigger guys more often than not get beat, but he was a mid-level card guy, same as Rufus R. Freight Train Jones. Won more than he lost, but didn't really show off that much. Ric Flair, and he's only a silver card here. And the reason he's a silver card here, he'd never been a world champion right here. He didn't win the world championship belt until 1983 at Starrcade, and he won the belt. And he'd been Mid-Atlantic champion. He'd been U.S. champion. He'd been a tag team champions with Greg Valentine. He'd held some belts, but Ric Flair really, he came up with the AWA. Greg Gagne, and actually it's a figure of Ric Flair's back in the 80s that was based on 72 or 73 when he first came up. Ric Flair was wrestling in the AWA for a short time. I think it was like 4 months. Did not impress Vern or Greg Gagne. Greg was part of the team as well. Did not impress either one of them. Jim Crockett jumped on the chance of getting Ric Flair. 74 or 75, he was leaving Richmond, going down to flying to Dorton Arena and Raleigh, short plane flight. And right there on the North Carolina, Virginia line, they had a plane crash, broke his back. He was with Tim Woods. Tim Woods was a clean guy. Ric Flair was a dirty guy. And he was with Jim Crockett Sr. And it was a great cover up back in the day. And they said that Ric Flair was on a private flight. They did as much covering up that deal as they possibly could. Bob Orton Jr., not Senior. Bob Orton Sr. was before this. Bob Orton Jr., that is Randy Orton's dad. This is Randy Orton's dad. And he and Dick Slater were paid $50,000 to break Ric Flair's leg in '82. right before, right, it may have been 83, just before Starrcade. And he hurt him, real bad. And then by the time it was time to go to wrestle for the gold, Ric Flair won the belt. But Harley Race hired this guy along with Dick Slater to break Ric Flair's leg and to just attack a lot of different people. Ricky Steamboat. And that was a time that Ric Flair was actually a face, not a heel. But Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., very good wrestler. Never a great wrestler, but very good wrestler. Bad Leroy Brown. Bad Leroy Brown. I think he passed away just a couple of years ago, and you can find a lot of articles on YouTube about Bad Leroy Brown, how he talked about some of the wrestlers that were just dirty, some of them the filthy guys as far as wouldn't take showers, some of them that would drink all the time, and just he tells you a lot of good stories. Leroy Brown was as dirty as it come back in the day. He was not a nice guy in the ring at all. He was right there with Ernie Ladd as far as just being a bad guy. But bad Leroy Brown later went to WWE, and they changed his name around. They done some other stuff with him. But he was just a tough kid, tough guy. Rocky Johnson just passed away about 3 or 4 years ago. This is The Rock's dad. He tag teamed a lot with Tony Atlas. And he was from the islands, was not very good on the mic. He was a decent wrestler. He was good in the air. But as far as, believe it or not, he wasn't one of the stronger guys as far as, he got him on his strong as far as Boston Crab and stuff like that. But he was not a guy that threw people around. He was strong, yes. But he was better even in the air than he was, I think, on the mat. He was a decent mat wrestler, better in the air. Angelo Mosca Sr. Came from New York, was billed out of Canada, but I think they came out of New York City. He wrestled. He played in the NFL for a short time, I think, with the Jets. Was not a very good football player at all, and tried out for a couple of different wrestling camps. The NWA took him on. Strong guy, definitely not good on the mic. He was not a guy that could make or break your organization. He was a guy that just kind of hung on. Jimmy Valiant type, top level. They had him fight most of the time, a lot of the top level guys in the card, but he didn't beat them very much. Ricky Steamboat. And I'd think he deserves a gold card here. Perhaps the best wrestler they ever had in Mid-Atlantic. He was the glue, as far as I'm concerned. Not Ric Flair, not Dusty Rhodes. This guy right here was the glue that kept everybody coming back week after week. Whether it was he and Jay Youngblood wrestling, whoever, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, whoever it was. If they were wrestling the Briscoes, if they were wrestling Ric Flair and Greg Valentine, he was always the competitor that was always a face. Although he requested to Jim Crockett Jr. in '88, just before the time he was going to lose the belt to Ric Flair, he wanted to become a heel, and they wouldn't let him. He was one of the guys that was not given a chance to become a heel. But Ricky Steamboat, a top 5 wrestler, in my opinion, all time. All right, we got a couple more here. Tiger Conway Jr. He started off down in Florida, and he wrestled all over. He never stayed in the Mid-Atlantic for a long, long time. He was with Bobo Brazil. He wrestled with different guys. Really the best he ever did was when he was with Pistol Pez Watley, Tiger Conway, and they were a very, very good team. and but never a stand up type team that was going to win the titles 3 or 4 times. Never that. Kelly Kiniski. He came out of Canada, proud Canadian wrestler, and never was that great. Gene Kiniski, his father, was a world heavyweight champion numerous times. Kelly just was not that good. Kelly was a decent wrestler, but he was never never going to become the wrestler that his dad was. It's just the way it was, and it just knew it was never going to happen. All right, we've already talked about these 6. Let's talk about some more. Oh, let's see, who the hell is this? Oh, that's right, Nelson Royal right there. Yeah, Nelson Royal. Dino Bravo and Mr. Wrestling. Dino Bravo, like I say, he wrestled with Mr. Wrestling, who was Tim Woods. That kind of hurt his career because Tim Woods was in that plane crash, 75. All of a sudden, Dino Bravo had to start attaching with wrestlers. He wrestled with Rufus R. Freight Train Jones. He would wrestle with Johnny Weaver. He just wrestled with a lot of different guys. It hurt him, though, when Mr. Wrestling ended up getting hurt. Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Ole and Gene Anderson. Gene Anderson, the guy right here with the chops right here on the side, he was an Anderson. And Ole actually was never an Anderson. They were never brothers. But these two fought tooth and nail. Later on, when Gene had to retire due to injuries, he became a law officer. He became a state trooper in North Carolina. Ole became the head booker in WCW after he retired from wrestling. After he quit the Horsemen, he became the head booker for a short time until Dusty Rhodes became the booker. The Imperial Russians, Chris Markoff, Nikolai Volkov. I think everybody remembers Nikolai Volkov. He wrestled in WWF for a short time, and then came over with Chris Markoff. I think Chris Markoff was a Olympic wrestler, and then these two guys got together for a while. They were mid-level or maybe a little bit better than that tag team. They weren't the greatest. And then finally, Nikolai Volkov spread his wings and ended up going to the WWF. But never a great tag team. Ric Flair, Greg Valentine, look on their shoulders. That tells you right there. They were champions. This is when Flair was just first coming up. And Flair was a great tag team wrestler. And I think a lot of times that makes a great singles wrestler is getting them out there tagging so they can watch a lot and learn as much as they can. And Ric Flair said he was never a dirty guy because he never got caught. He very seldom got caught. And that's the thing. It's not against the rules if they don't catch you. And that was Ric Flair saying. Wahoo McDaniel, Mark Youngblood. Now, Mark came up about the time Rick Steamboat was leaving to go to the WWE. This is like 84. Ricky Steamboat was going to the WWF. He wanted to wrestle with Jay. His brother, Jay, ended up passing away sometime maybe in 85 or 86. He got together with Wahoo. They had a decent career together. Wahoo was a much better singles wrestler than he was tag team wrestler. Mark Youngblood never was the greatest wrestler, and he was terrible on the mic. Wahoo was a little bit better on the mic, but they just never were a cohesive unit. Decent tag team. Johnny Weaver, George Becker. This was an interesting team. George Becker was at the end of his career, and Johnny Weaver was coming up, and he wanted to wrestle singles. And George Becker got together with Jim Crockett and said, look, I'd like to get together with this Weaver kid. And they actually got together, and I think he won the Mid-Atlantic titles maybe 2 or 3 different times. And Becker, 78, 79, went to the promoters and said, I'm going to retire. Johnny went back to him and said, look, don't let him retire. So it was at first Becker wanted to be his partner, and then at the end, it didn't become the other way around. Weaver did not want Becker to leave, and Becker was just an older guy. And they had mid-level success, but they were a very, very cohesive unit. Sergeant Slaughter, Don Kernodle. This one right here is such a weird situation all the way around. If you saw Private Nelson, Jim Nelson, he got together with Don Kernodle and Sergeant Slaughter. Robert Remus is his real name. Slaughter had his most success. Well, you know what? A lot of people say in WWE, but hell, he became tag team champions here 2 or 3 times in NWA. He had a lot of success there. What happened was after they lost their belts to Youngblood and Steamboat, Sergeant Slaughter went back and said, I want more money. I want to be a singles wrestler. I can hold a world title for you, and I can really be a great opponent to anybody that you put it face wise, or if you want to turn me into a heel. And at the time he was a heel. And Jim Crockett Jr., not senior, but junior, looked at him in the eye and said, you're never going to amount to anything. And he ended up going to the WWF, where he fought Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik, a lot of different guys. I always thought he was better in NWA, but that was just me. The Kentuckians, Grizzly Smith and Luke Brown. Grizzly Smith is a story within itself. Grizzly Smith is Rockin' Robin's father. Grizzly Smith is Sam Houston's dad. Grizzly Smith is Jakey Snake Roberts' dad. Grizzly Smith was a very, very nasty guy. He was out of Texas, Louisiana area. Not a nice guy at all. He was known to beat his kids. He was known to beat his wife. He was known to beat on a lot of people. Was just overall not a nice guy. Luke Brown. Luke Brown's a man I cannot tell you much about. But I can tell you this much. Grizzly Smith was from the southern part. He was not from Kentucky. He was from the south of there. And they got together, maybe called themselves the Kentuckians. He was a huge guy, a very good wrestler, not great, but he had more behind the scenes issues than just a wrestler. A couple more tag teams here. The Infernos, the Inferno 1, Inferno 2. They wore a blue mask and they wear blue shirts, and I cannot tell you anything else about these guys. The Infernos. I can't tell you anything about them because I don't know anything about them. Bob Orton Jr., Dick Slater, tag team. They were mean. Dick Slater started off in Florida and learned to craft really well from some guys that were not so nice. Dick Slater and Wahoo McDaniel had a lot of battles. Bob Orton Jr., he was a little stiff at times, not the best wrestler in the world, but they came across as real good heels, and they really, really did the job well. So, not a bad situation at all, I would say. That's a lot of cards. That's a lot of cards. Down, Charlie Brown, the man from out of town, Charlie Brown. Downtown Charlie Brown. Good stuff. Learned a lot in this segment. You had your A game on it. Well, there's a lot of them I didn't know. There was a few of them I didn't know. And once we have a champion, they'll get the champions card, and they'll be having a chance to become the champion of the Mid-Atlantic champion. And who knows what they can do from there. Jim Crockett Sr. And Gary Hart, Playboy Gary Hart, as a manager as well. The tag teams, I thought they were Mr. Wrestling, Mr. Wrestling. Yeah, he was one of the first ones I saw, Mr. Wrestling. Where was he at? Abe Jacobs too. He was an interesting cat. He was from just outside of Australia, New Zealand. He was from New Zealand. Yeah. Tim Woods. That's Mr. Wrestling right there. Yeah. But sometimes he wrestled as Tim Woods and sometimes as Mr. Wrestling. So it was pretty funny because it was almost like they all paid him double because you just never knew if he was going to. And at the time, you didn't know. They didn't make it known to people that this guy's that wealth of wrestling knowledge. I don't know about that. I knew the Mid-Atlantic. There's some territories you could throw me in, and I would not be able to help you. Well, I would not be able to tell you a lot about them. But yeah, I'm gonna get this together again. I'm gonna be playing it again. Probably, maybe even by the end of the day. Glenn McMahon, Slam Wars. He sent me my paper here and printed it out to me. My son will love this. Double D, what's going on? Yeah, I will come back out and I will have maybe a tag team attraction, tag team night, and then I may have a tournament to decide who's going to be the champions. And it should be good. It should be a lot of fun. And we'll eventually have a Mid-Atlantic champion. And then, like I say, you can buy this on eBay. And by the time you finish paying everything, it's about $31. I think it's $31.01 or something. But it's a tough package. And the cards are some good stuff. That's some good card stock. It's not far behind Bleacher Bums. It's some real good card stock. What determines who wins depends on what. I did one earlier, Keith. So slide it back in the video if you want to. Sometimes it's muscle, sometimes it's trophy, and you have to decide who you want to put where, and you don't know who you're going against. So it's great for two people. It's admitted as 5 people can wrestle, and you get extra wrestlers, and sometimes fatal 4-way and all this type stuff. So, but one of them shows blood, and let me show. I will show you that. But it different cards on the table will just let you decide who you want to put down there to wrestle. If it's heart, determination, whatever, skill. You got some cards. It's got this on them. It's got success. It's got endurance. It's got strength. Yeah, you can play solo if you care to. Technician. And then hardcore. And then you've got these cards. See, these right here are stipulation cards. And see that, or you can play with hardcore, and you can lay them down and then flip them over, and then you get to decide who you're going to do. Grudge match, you add both of those and make a ladder match out of it. There's other kind of grudge matches, a cage match, chain match, Texas death match. Lumberjack match. That's where they keep throwing you back into the ring. Iron Man match. I was thinking one of them was a cage match, but I may be wrong. No, it's no cage. Oh, yeah, I think it is right here. I think it's right here as a cage match. Steel cage match. See? So, and there's even one more. And that's just a star. So, yeah, you won't get to determine it. You pick out, if you're going to have 6 matches, you flip these up real good, chop them up real good, and then lay them down. Then you get your wrestlers. Then you get to see beforehand what you got to team up with. And then you get one you'll get one extra tag team card and one extra singles card. So you don't have to play everybody. And then you get a booster, whether it's a finishing move, if they have a finisher. Bob Caudle, he can help. I mean, he just gives you points. That's all. Charlie Brown comes out of the crowd. Play this to a wrestler or tag team to win by outside interference. So you'd be winning by definitely go back. Yeah. Like I say, you get this little book, fits right in here. And it tells you what to do. Finishing moves are used to end a match in Slam Wars. They allow you to win your matchup regardless of ratings. You must pair a finisher booster card with a wrestler or tag team who have the same color strip behind their finisher. Not all wrestlers or tag teams have finishers. The finishers are green, strike, red, impact, purple, crush, yellow, pin, or blue, submission. So you got to match those. Deal each player how many wrestlers there, and then tag teams and 2 boosters. Turn 7 stipulation cards up, and then what you do, it's a strategy-based play. So it's yeah. House rules. Instead of a traditional 6-man tag team match, add an extra wrestler card to the tag team to make it a 6-man tag team if you want to. If the players are dealt extra cards, you can use the same formula to create your own tag teams using 2 singles wrestlers. So you can put 3 singles wrestlers together to make a 6-man. How about that? Once all the matches are set, you will have 1 extra wrestler card. If you lose a matchup, you can throw a Hail Mary and play your extra card, a new stipulation card. Your run-in wrestler will battle the wrestler or tag team that had won the original match. So you can actually run into the ring and mess them up. It says house rules here. If the matchup ends on a draw, you can go 5 more minutes and draw a new stipulation card. If you want to draft a stable of wrestlers, you can do that, who compete in multiple categories. So you can have your own stable of wrestlers. It's pretty cool. It really is. So, yeah, if you're just getting here, if you want to go back and watch it, definitely slide it back most of the way. And then you can watch that. And me and Bleacher Bombs, we took on each other here in Slam Wars. I'll come back in here and probably have it playing with it again tonight sometime this evening. Pretty cool game. A little cost, and a little high, but I'm going to get in touch with Glenn. Glenn McMahon is his name. That's funny, but his name is McMahon. And we're going to find out if I can maybe get us maybe a reduced price. But you can buy it at eBay. eBay, it's brand new, and he is the guy selling it through eBay. So rather than rather than go through a lot of other stuff, he actually goes through eBay with it. Uh, so he just doesn't have, the website setups and all that type of stuff yet. Commercial, if he commercialized himself a little bit, he probably could save himself a little bit of money. So I think it would be interesting. Well, like I say, once again, guys, if you're wanting to see how Slam Wars plays, uh, turn back the video back all the way to the beginning, and me and Bleacher Bums played against each other, and you won't see all the wrestlers until after we finished playing, and then I previewed every wrestler out there, told you as much as I could about any of them, but some of them I didn't know a lot about. Till I'll see you again. My name's Rob. Thanks so much. I enjoy the game. It's a little pricey, yes, but we're going to see if we can work with Glenn. I didn't get an email notice. So yeah, definitely rewind it there. Slide it back a little bit. And Darla says bye, and I say bye. You all have a great day, and definitely catch you beginning of this video. I think you'll like it. And we may be back on later with Slam Wars 2. All right, bye-bye. Let's see.
I'm bored. I want to go out.
Hold on. Not